Hello and welcome, guys, to the review of Megalo Memories Part 2 from yours truly. And today I'm just going to explain what I thought about the episode. So, Megalo Memories 2 is a continuation of the first Bless the Harts Megalo Memories episode with the family. Recapping uh, previous Black Fridays that were sort of memorable to them. Uh, and while the first one was while they were enjoying Thanksgiving dinner because at Violet's wishes, the second one is sort of a continuation of that with them now standing in line. Yeah, there's actually some continuity references to the first. In the beginning, when Violet doesn't want to hear these stories, Jenny says, "Oh, Violet, you worry if we reminisce, you will cry like you did last year." So it's sort of a continuity building from that one. And I have to say, I thought the first one was slightly better, but this one definitely holds up as well. Uh, yeah, it's funny. It's sweet. It sort of brings you to that sweetness throughout. Then I did enjoy all the plots, even though it does get all over the place sometimes. Betty's was basically a slip and fall. So she tries to sue the Megalomart for a slip and fall so she can get her huge payday. And of course, that doesn't really work out for her. That's pretty much it. I thought her plot was funny at points, but it wasn't really needed in the grand scale of things. It's definitely true to her character, but I did like how they didn't make it, an essential part. It was just like a little side thing. Sort of started out hers with Jenny's, but then hers became sort of her own thing. It sort of diverted. Jenny's plot was that she became a new cheerleader for an NFL team in Charlotte, South Carolina, but she ends up being pregnant and she can't go because she's pregnant. And at first I thought, okay, I had a feeling this one might be more of a happy-go-lucky sort of situation, but considering the fact that Bless the Hearts is an animated sitcom and how they're here now, maybe it could have showed that she was gonna become a cheerleader and then eventually she'd move back. But it ends up turning out that okay, she ends up but it sort of brings in the pregnant thing when she sort of starts vomiting and not feeling well, and honestly I think that's where it starts to sort of get more good because I'm like, yeah, this is fine, it's starting out like this, but it's not one that hits home right away. I think Megalo Memories 2 is an episode that gets better and better as it goes. There are a lot of episodes that I absolutely love from anime sitcoms that definitely don't start out good right away, and this is no exception to that. You also had, one of my favorite episodes in Bob's Burgers, Glued Where's My Bob, started out really, really slow, but end of first act starts to get better and better, ends up fantastic. It's pretty much relatively the same with this episode. Uh, and then Wayne's plot is him trying to deliver, finish a delivery of milk before the time runs out, and he's so motivated to do this because of his ex, as he explains his first ever heartbreak.
I was 18 years old, and I was reeling from my first ever heartbreak, Anita Upchurch. She told me I was too sensitive, because apparently real men don't cry dog food commercials. Get it together, Wayne. Stupid tear ducks. She wanted a hero type. But little did she know, I was about to become one.
And yeah, I think Wayne's story was pretty good too. I'm surprised. The only thing I sort of was iffy on was I didn't like how a lot of stuff was sort of made up, like, oh, the truck going at 200 miles an hour, like, that was obviously unrealistic. How he brings the truck to a stop at the Animal Crossing was also unrealistic too. I wasn't really a huge fan of that, but apart, and it's sort of, but I sort of like it the more it goes. You know, as I said, Megalo Memories 2 is an episode that gets better and better, and Jenny and Wayne's plot both get better and better as they go. And now, as we go back to Jenny's plot, she's ashamed to tell her mom that she's pregnant, and she's worried what she would think. And she steals some pregnancy tests from the Megalomart, and she worries and panics. She runs out. She runs out and then decides to go to the back of the store, you know, just to start crying. But you know, of course, and I will kind of sort of get back into this later. And then you have Wayne. So Wayne's truck breaks down, and this guy who's obviously a parody of Sal Vulcano, his name is Bear Vulcano, an obvious caricature of himself. An obvious caricature of himself comes to offer his help when Wayne's truck breaks down, and you know they go to deliver it together. They go to deliver the milk together, and then Wayne brings up his ex. Or, I mean, you know, the photo falls out. He asks, "Oh, who is this?" "Oh, my ex," you know. And, you know, Wayne explains the entire process. But, you know, Bear Volcano sort of cheers him up a little bit, like, Wayne, you're a man, don't worry about it. You know, it's a sort of who cares what she thinks.
Who's this?
My ex. She thinks I'm not a real man because I'm too emotional. Guess I'm not the big masculine hero she needs.
Your ex sounds like a real turd. There's nothing more manly than getting in a no-holds-barred cage match with your emotions.
I want to thank you, real Bear Volcano.
No, thank you. Any day I get to hand someone a flower and tell them it's gonna be okay, that's a win for me.
And you know, I feel like the way that commentary is put is sort of true nowadays, because, you know, there's an ongoing sort of, I'm not sure if you can say stereotype, but maybe like a trope or archetype where people say they have to, where people or society think that, oh, males have to be, you know, sort of, oh, manly and stuff, but, you know, if Wayne feels heartbroken, he's not a man. But, you know, Bear Volcano, Sal, but Bear sort of, you know, goes against that and, you know, sort of tells him that, you know, it's, you know, you're a man if you like have all these emotions, because, you know, people are human and they have emotions. And, you know, I really did like that, and it was a sort of really interesting sort of commentary, you know, especially in these times. And after that, he's restocking the mill, and of course Jenny's in the back of the store. And you know, Jenny tries to grab an eggnog to drink, you know, and then she bumps into a hand, and then the hand ends up being Wayne, but she doesn't know. And then, you know, they sort of kind of have a moment, and then, you know, Wayne tells her, you know, you know, like being a hero is like, when someone needs you and you're there to help, not as opposed to, you know, what like people actually may think what a hero is. And then, you know, it sort of brings up for a pretty sweet moment, in my opinion.
Well, there's not much else to tell. I still didn't have the courage to face Mother, so I went and hid in the back of the store. Oh, ugh, sweating for two. Oh, sorry.
No worries. Just restocking the nogs. Hang on. You were in the back of the store, like the dairy section?
Yeah, why?
No freaking way!
You okay, ma'am?
No, nothing's okay. Everyone had such high expectations for me, and then I let them all down.
Oh, who cares what everyone thinks? Being a hero isn't about impressing people. It's about being there when someone needs you.
Yeah, now there's really someone who needs me.
Hey, I know what'll cheer you up.
Aw, a violet. Pretty. Mother, I already know what you're gonna say, okay? You're disappointed.
Shh. You're right. I am disappointed. I'm disappointed that you were afraid to tell me, because I will always be there for you, no matter what.
And yes, after that, of course, Violet starts crying because they definitely got her again with naming the flower after her, and I thought it was a relatively sweet moment as well. And then they all go in and start chopping. So yeah, that's basically the episode for me. I definitely like this one. It's the best episode of the season. Of course, some things stood out to me were the getting better and better every episode. I've already said it too many times. You also have the sort of sweet dynamic that it has at the end, like just like the first one. Although I think the first one is a little more impactful because how I felt like Wayne's story was sort of made up. So the build up wasn't as much as the first one, because the first one definitely felt more natural in its pacing and its writing as well, in my opinion. But I mean, the second one has very minor flaws in my opinion. The first one is near a perfect episode in my opinion. I really loved it. But the second one is definitely a worthy successor. So Megalo Memories 2 is a worthy successor to the first. There are some small problems, like I think that mostly the inconsistency and and sort of absurdity in Wayne's plot prevents it from, packing a more harder punch. You also have, I think Betty's story goes on a little bit too long, but other than that, it's relatively funny. It's very sweet, and I do like the direction that it heads in, even though it sort of jumps all over the place. So would I recommend it? Yes, I would recommend it. So anyways, I want to know what you thought in the comments, and of course, if you like this video, share, like, subscribe. I hope more people watch this show. It's definitely one of the more underappreciated shows. Duncanville is also pretty underappreciated in my opinion. Even though I haven't gone to that show yet, I hope that show. I hope that I can be part of that show's audience, and same with this show. I'm starting to get more invested into the show now because of its more consistency. But maybe some people like this episode more than I did. So what did you think in the comments? Let me know, and see you next time, which will be Bob's Burgers.